Happy Tuesday. I've had two good practices, both Monday and Tuesday. Today we worked primarily on working on a little first and second down game plan versus UNLV, as well as continuing competition at several positions. We'll go through this week, play our mock game on Saturday, sit down and discuss personnel on Sunday, and then make some decisions moving forward for our team as we get ready for UNLV. But it's good to start working to break camp and now start working towards the first opponent. As far as a health standpoint, you saw both tight ends, Tyler Petit and Eric Cromenhoek back, which was great. Austin Jackson's got significant work over the last 2 days. Hoping to get Chuma back tomorrow for a little work, and Clayton Bradley hopefully either later the week or first of next week. We actually got Jake Lichtenstein back for 9 periods a day, which was also good. With that, I'll answer any questions that you got.
Coach, in terms of your mentality going into this week, are you treating this mock scrimmage the same way that you would simulate your regular season schedule in terms of what you're emphasizing on a day-to-day basis?
Well, what we do with the mock scrimmage is we try to make it as real a game-like as we can. You know, we actually use headsets, communication, substitutions. We're changing personnel groupings to make sure all skill know exactly where they're going. We're putting situations on the quarterbacks so they get guys lined up the correct way. All the things that happen in games that just basically make you mad as a coach, addressing it, special situations, and then we put the ball down and play a little bit. It just helps me in that last phase, you know, in a real kind of game-like situation, to be able to see, all right, who's ready and who may need a little bit more time to develop.
What will be the deciding factors over the next week at the quarterback position?
You know, over the next week, I visited with each one of the kids yesterday, just like I did after each preseason game, and we sat down, and each one has something different to work on. I addressed the overall, what we're looking for from the intangibles, decision making, timing, accuracy, watching the ball move, and each has a different phase that they were really strong in last week, and then they've got some things that I want to see them progress in this week. I wanted to continue the process because I want the guys to continue to compete. They all need to progress, and I want to make sure I'm right too. You know, so another week does not hurt to be able to put us in that situation. We're getting plenty enough work with all three, which is good, and I think it makes all three of them better players if called upon in the season.
What is something that you want to see from JT this week?
I talked to JT about. I thought his decision making in the scrimmage was really good. He went to the correct place each and every time. He also got the ball out on time. He missed a couple throws, and so I said, hey, you know, I really want this week to be about being precise. Aim small, miss small. Be accurate. And you know, he's been a deadly accurate quarterback, and you know, when you get in those live game situations and bullets, I want to see that accuracy. And but overall, I thought he had a nice scrimmage. I really did. I'm harder on quarterbacks than anybody else, and he had some great strengths, and that's his area of growth this week. He's done a nice job the first 2 days.
Coach Ellis said on the 2 interceptions there, JT had it in the right place, just was a little late. How did you?
I'll look at the tape. You know, the one sprint, he got baited by the corner. I thought Elijah Griffin did an unbelievable job. He made him. He fooled him on that one. He came up and acted like he was taking the flat and bailed right at the last second and got up underneath it, which was a very savvy play for a young person. So he got baited on the corner route. I'll have to check the other one. I think the flat zone defender buzzed out there and just thought it was an incorrect read, but I'll have to check on tape.
Would it be safe to say that you'll announce the quarterback decision after the mock game?
I'm going to say it's probably going to be early in the week, as early as I can.
Or after
you know, it's definitely going to be after. Okay. It's definitely going to be after the mock game. I want to go through this week, go through the process, and then, you know, I personally, you know, out of respect to the players and their parents, I like sitting the kids down, visiting with them, being able to call their parents, and being able to do it the right way, and in a private setting, you know, and I just think that's out of the art of respect and honor to three guys that have really competed, you owe that to them. So I'll be doing that after the mock game at some point in time.
Coach, you announced the captains yesterday. What makes those four guys?
Oh man, I tell you what, the beauty about being a captain here is it's the vote of your teammates, and it's not our vote as coaches. It's the vote of 110 men naming the guys that did a tremendous job in the off season, and you know, to be able to have Cam, Porter, Marvell, and Toa represent this team, man, I can't think of any better. It was really cool because there were some guys right up underneath them. There's so senior leadership on this group. There were some guys that were right underneath them in the vote also. But those four are representative of what we are on a day-to-day basis. I think about how consistent they are on and off the field of representing the Trojan family.
What are you most concerned about with 2 weeks left until the start of the season?
I think just I addressed one of them today. Was just I actually stopped practice and reminded everybody that how important communication and substitution is. I went back and watched about every practice and both scrimmages, and just the art of being able to get in and out and say, hey, I got you, or we're in 3 wides, or we're in 12 personnel or 22 personnel, and that communication that happens. There was a couple times defensively today that people were asking for calls, and those are the things that when you're in a game situation with, you know, 70, 80, 90,000 around you, you know, you have to be all be on the same page, and you got to be loud and you got to be communicative. So that's probably the biggest thing, is making sure that we're game ready. Practice is nice and easy because we can yell at them as coaches, but today it's like I put them all off the field and made them do it, and I'll make them do it up into the next 2 weeks, so it feels like game-like.
Is that the physicality you expect to see all through the season during game weeks?
I hope so. I was really proud. I had some people come up to me that were here last year and said, man, Coach, this is such a competitive, physical atmosphere. They play fast, and you know, I think the sense of competition, not naming it too deep right now, there's some jobs that are out there that guys are competing for, and I told the guys in there, this is a twofold week. This is a week where we're starting to introduce the concepts that we're going to run versus UNLV, but it's also a decision-making week for us as far as your role going into week 1 and defining that role for week 1. So I thought the kids took it to heart. I thought they competed on both sides of the ball.
How do you keep that competing going once you've got the 2 deep set and all that?
I think each week's like a playoff game week, and the guy that's playing the best goes out there. And these guys got a lot of pride too. You know, offense and defensively, they go against each other, and that's part of what we do. You know, I'm not a huge fan of service teams. I really like live speed. I really want Saturdays to be easy for them, and when they're going against each other, it becomes a whole lot easier sometimes than always having service teams. That's why you see us go against each other a lot during practice, rather than saying, okay, you get over here, you get over here, here's the service squads. I'm going to try to keep it as much as us going against each other as I can.
Has Elijah Tucker done enough this fall to consider to start?
He's going to play. Whether we'll sit down after this week and say start as a starter or not, but he is going to play a lot of ball this year. He's been kind of the sixth man all the way through this camp, and the first guy that goes in, and he's pushing. He's pushing Andrew. Andrew having the ability to go from right guard to right tackle also makes it easy if we have injuries. But there's a guy that I think has bolstered our offensive line. We committed to redshirted him last year. He wasn't quite ready. This year he's ready to go, and he's having a great camp.